I've been living with cancer for, I'm not even going to tell you, a very long time. Right now, it is in my bones and just a little bit in my bones. It has not gone everywhere. It is doing great. So I am maintaining and I'm feeling really good about it. The purpose of my channel is to introduce you to different topics related to cancer and to show you my journey, the ups, the downs, the ugly, the good, the bad, the whole thing. I hide nothing. Today, I have my very good friend here of, I don't know, how many years now?
19 this month.
19, wow, see, you keep track of that. I have such bad memory. 19 years ago this month, my friend Holly, it was kind of a funny story. We met online, and back when online wasn't like a big deal, you know, it's like not when there wasn't like laptops that people took everywhere. There was no like, you know, phone that you could go on your emails and your whatever. It was like when there was these big old computers where you had to sit down and desktop. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, that's back in the day. Okay, so I had watched Oprah, as I used to always do, and they had, you know, find a buddy, email a buddy, I can't remember what it was, diet buddy. Yep, a diet buddy. And so I had emailed, and you're supposed to like hook, you know, you're supposed to be paired with someone, or if someone responds, I put down my story, what I was looking for. Nobody responded. I was like, that is so weird. Out of millions of people, nobody responded. So I waited and I thought, okay. 3 months later, when I thought this thing just is broken, it doesn't work, or I'm just a horrible person and no one wants to be my friend. One of those two. Couldn't be that, right? So all of a sudden, Holly pops in and she says, would you like to be my diet buddy? And she starts talking about her history, found out that we're both Christians, and we both had children around the same age. And so after months of, you know, communicating, we decided, hey, we don't live that far apart. We could probably actually meet in person. So we did. So we went, we met at a mall nearby my house. I'm not going to say where, but close by my house. She came, it was like a halfway point for both of us. And my son at that time, Ryan, he was 13 years old. And he was like, Mom, this could be a guy. You don't know if it's a lady. You have no idea if this is a woman. This person could be lying to you. And Mom, you're really naive and you trust too easy. I'm going to go with you because it could be a guy and I'm going to protect you. Isn't that sweet? He's so sweet. He's still that sweet. And now he's 35 years old.
We had talked on the phone.
Yeah, we talked on the phone. It's like, I know you're, but he was just like, no, this is a trick. This could possibly be a trick. We can't do this. So we go and we meet, and I have my little girl Summer at that time. She was just like a baby, a couple years old. And she had Amanda, who was a baby, and Chandler, who was 7 or 8 or something.
Yeah,
he was just like, just like a little guy. And then I had, of course, Ryan on the outer court, watching and stuff. So anyway, we met and we've been hard, fast friends ever since then. So now, of course, I get cancer. She's jealous. I know. So she decides to just go and get it herself.
That's what I'm.
Yes, that's what it was. No, I'm very sad that this actually, I know that it hits, 1 in 5 people, women. So basically, if you're thinking of your 5 friends, just know that someone's going to come and say, I have cancer, breast cancer. So there we have it. So today, what I wanted to do is, a lot of times we talk about holistic healing, about the negativity that comes from our doctors. A lot of you have shared with me that your doctors don't listen. It just didn't feel comfortable, and you got a second opinion. You felt like you couldn't escape because your insurance only paid for that doctor. I've heard pretty much all of the negative stories that you could possibly tell me now. But I wanted to have Holly in because she has a positive experience with her doctor. So let's get started. Okay, so Holly, when did you find out you had cancer, and how did you find out that you had cancer?
That's kind of a funny story. I was having knee surgery because I had fallen, and I knew I needed knee surgery. So They scheduled that February 15th. And so I decided, for some unknown reason, it was colonoscopy year, so I'm going to have one of those. And while I'm at it, let's cover all the women's things.
Yeah.
So I had the pap smear, the mammogram, and the colonoscopy, and everything came back great, except the mammogram. And like everybody who gets cancer, you have the next mammogram more detailed, and then they tell you that you need an ultrasound, and you have the ultrasound, and then they're like, okay, we need to biopsy this. And so that day was February 14th. Valentine's Day, I had a breast biopsy. And the next day, I had knee surgery. And the day after that, they called me and told me I had cancer.
Oh my
breast
gosh.
cancer.
So what stage, did they stage it at that point?
They did not stage it at that
Okay.
point. They just gave me the name of it, which was invasive ductal carcinoma, or not cancer, they called it.
Carcinoma.
And so, of course, the almighty Google, I Googled that. I didn't contact you yet because I didn't know what stage it was. I didn't know. I wasn't worried. That's just a really weird thing.
Yeah, she's been just very peaceful and calm through the whole thing.
Yeah, just very peaceful. Because right after I got off the phone, I said to God, you're going to have to get this because I can't do this on my own.
Amen.
And ever since that moment, I'm just like, okay, this is something I'm going to go through. It's something He's going to get me through. And then just Google to find out what everything means. And then my chart came in with my results, the official results that they also mail you to your house. And so I looked at it online and started looking up all the terms and what does this mean? What does that mean? And what I figured out was it's not good.
Yeah.
And then I had my first doctor's appointment, which was my surgery doctor, surgical oncologist. And she told me I had stage 1. It was under 2 centimeters, pretty much a marble under 2 centimeters. And that it was aggressive and it is triple negative. And at the time I didn't know what triple negative means. It means
Same as,
yeah. It means there are therapies, hormone therapies that you cannot use to help treat your cancer.
Yeah.
So at that point, armed with all that information, then I started telling some people, and I talked to Jody, and she said that's exactly the same thing I had. Stage 1, triple negative, aggressive, invasive, ductal carcinoma. So,
yeah.
and I've thought a lot about that, and there is no way that's a coincidence that I have the exact same one. There's no way.
That's because you're gonna need me. And you know what? The one thing I realized when I got triple negative, when they said triple negative, I had no idea what that even meant. But I do know, I remember the doctor, my first doctor was Dr. Carpenter, and he went, his whole face just changed. And he was such a sweet guy. He retired, and I wish I could have kept him because he was so sweet. But his whole face just told me this is not good. And I was, young, I had babies and stuff. So I was I was thinking, who's going to take care of my children and, all that. And then I didn't even Google it at that point. Because I had to keep going. I had to just keep go. And later on, I found out with my second oncologist that my life expectancy should be about now. And so I was like, oh, wow. But for whatever reason, God has sustained me. And a lot of people say, well, because you did natural, you did this, you did that. But I did all of the treatments that they had for me. That is a misconception that a lot of people think when they see my journey now. They think that, well, you just did vegetables and juicing and, that's why, you bypassed all of this or that. But if you go back to my beginning of my videos, I'm bald. And my hair is trying to grow back in. And yeah, I did this. I did that for years. Chemotherapy it just destroyed my body, and it didn't kill my cancer. It kept it at bay at first. But then, as many of you guys know, that chemo is a carcinogen itself.
Carcinogen.
Yeah, so what it does, it kills. But then it'll come back, the cancer. It causes another kind of cancer, a different kind of cancer, or it just makes your body a nice, happy place to have your cells grow. If there's one cell left, it'll grow. So when I found that out, that my chemo was actually causing me more cancer, and the doctor even said so. I'm like, well, if it's not working and it's causing me more chemotherapy, causing me more cancer, and it is destroying my body, it's taken my kidney, it's done all this different stuff, my teeth have fallen out, everything, then why are we doing this again? And he goes, it's because that's all there is for triple negative. And I was like, okay, there's got to be a different way. And that's when I started researching holistic means of cure and health. And that we started 13 years ago. But I did it integratively. I did it with the treatments that they had available. They would try. I did 3 different trials, almost died, did not good. Trials only mean you're, not always, but sometimes a trial drug has been around forever. They're just now trying it out on your type of cancer. But the trials that I did were actually like in the early stages, and basically you're dying anyway, so let's just give this a try. And this could kill you, and it almost did. So after that, I decided, okay, I'm done with traditional medicine, and I'm going to try this way. At least I'll die peaceful and not all sick and hurt with toothless, you know. So that was my story. But in the beginning, yeah, that look on the doctor's face with triple negative was like, oh, like, you know, that robs them of their little toolbox that they use to treat cancer. And that narrows it down to chemo and radiation. And immunotherapy is back on the table for triple negative. They've tried it. I don't think they've had a lot of success, but the good news about that, it is not that horrible. It makes you itch a little bit, makes you a little diarrhea a little bit. I can't remember all of the symptoms, but yeah. Anyway, so I think in the future, there's always something new coming up, and always, you know, but basically I just believe that God has kept me here for this length of time, and has got Holly here, and is going to maintain her because she's still got a kid in college. So God has got to keep her around for for grandkids. And I believe it's going to happen for sure. So after you found out your diagnosis and it was triple negative, did you feel like hopeless, or did you feel, what was your response?
No, I was not hopeless at all. You know, after I said to God, you're going to have to help me with this because I can't do this alone, I've just had peace. And my daughter, Amanda, has said it's like the peace of God has come upon our whole family. And she's right. Seems like nobody is worried. It's all something we're just going to go through. God's going to guide us. He's going to carry us at times, but He'll be there for us. And, we firmly believe that. So no, never had any, and I still don't.
Yeah, that's why I felt really peaceful when Holly told me. At first I cried, I have to admit, because I don't like anybody to have to go through this journey ever. Even if you're my worst enemy, I don't want you to do this. This is not something that you want to do. But after I cried and stuff, I just felt this real, just strong peace just washed over me. And I thought, you know what? It's okay. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay for her. It's going to be okay for her children. And it's going to be okay for me. And her friends and her family and her coworkers and everybody. Because when you get cancer, you're not the only one who gets it. Your whole community gets it. I mean, it's like everybody has a reaction for, maybe from something they've experienced themselves. Maybe their grandma died of cancer. Maybe their aunt died of cancer. Maybe, they've watched a lot of Lifetime movies. You don't know. You laugh, but I have people come up and say,
yeah,
you just never know. So everybody has a different reaction. So now you're in it. How many rounds and where you're at in your treatment?
My treatment plan is chemo, followed by lumpectomy, followed by radiation. And the chemo is every 3 weeks. I have just finished round 2. Well, not just finished. I'm on like day 10 now. I think day 1 being chemo day. And so I am on day 10. And so I am still having side effects right now. Even day 10 removed from it. But it'll be another couple of days. I hope, pray to God.
Yeah.
Just a couple more days and then all that will be gone. And then I'll have like 12 days of being okay, I hope.
Yeah.
And then it'll be time for the next one.
So how can you what side effects are you experiencing, and give me a tip or a help, something you can tell someone who is just starting out in this journey that could possibly help them with side effects and such.
Okay. Well, the first thing that I did is I wanted to be aware of everything that was happening with my body. So I got a journal, and it's about this big. I would suggest, if you're going to do this, get the actual one that they use in schools, the 8.5 by 11, because it turns out the one I got, it's thick, but it's, I have to use a lot of pages. But anyway, so I got that, and from the very beginning, day 0, which is the day before chemo, I was taking steroids morning and night. And so I took them. How did they make me feel? That kind of thing. Chemo day, what was I feeling? Did I have any side effects yet? And to be honest, I didn't have any side effects until day 2. Mm-hmm. And then I got bone pain a little bit, and I'm like, oh, this is really weird. And then the next day, bone pain was there, and it was strong. And I was like, oh, this is what she feels. Ouch.
Yeah, bone pain I think is probably the worst symptom that I went through. And some people think, oh, what about the hair loss? I'm like, yeah, that sucked. But your hair grows back. Proof is it's grown back, taking years, but it did happen. Yeah. And the nausea stops, it's gone, but the bone pain, yeah.
The bone pain was like 2.5 days. And I know that because I wrote it in my journal. And then after that, the next day came body aches, and those were there a full day. And these aren't your normal body aches, like you have the flu. No, these are worse body aches.
Yeah.
So those two were pretty well controlled with. The bone pain I controlled with ibuprofen, 4 of them.
Yep.
And going into the bath for Epsom salts baths, that seemed to work some. Sometimes I would take some Tylenol to off, with it. Yeah. Somebody suggested arthritis strength.
Excedrin?
Yeah, something like. I have not tried that yet. If it gets worse,
it thins your blood, so be careful.
Yeah,
and ask them about that, because I know that was a no-no during chemotherapy, and it's been a while since I've had to do it. Mm-hmm. But I remember anything with aspirin in it. I was like, yeah, and it can really mess your stomach up too.
I've already got problems with that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Besides those two, I did get nausea. The nausea wasn't bad because the PA that I have been seeing and talking to, she had told me, here's a list of stuff to go buy. Go buy it, have it all ready. And I did that. And then they gave me like booklets of what, if you get this, this is what you take. Try this, do that. And so that all went in my journal. I would look at things and try things, cross things out if it didn't work.
Did they put Zofran or anything in your IV?
Yes, they did. Yeah. They put that in my IV, which is probably
why the best.
So that's probably why I did not even get nausea until like day 3 or 4. I didn't get it. And they told me, as soon as you get it, don't wait. Don't try to combat it. Take the Zofran immediately. Yeah. And that's a great tip. Take the Zofran immediately. Don't be a hero.
Yeah, don't be stupid. It's not like a nausea that will pass. It'll just keep getting worse until you start throwing up. And then if you start throwing up, you'll get dehydrated.
And you can't take the Zofran when you're throwing up.
Yep, and then you'll end up going to the hospital for an IV of the Zofran. I know this because I've done that. Wow. Because in the beginning, if you can believe this was years ago, but my insurance would not cover Zofran.
Oh, gosh.
Because it was a newer, I don't know if it was newer or it was just more expensive. And so they did Compazine, but Compazine didn't work on me at all. So until I ended up, they said, you have to try this, and if it doesn't work, then the insurance will pay for Zofran.
I'm the other way around.
Yeah. And it was
like Zofran, and they also gave me Compazine. I have both prescriptions.
Yeah. And it didn't work. So then after ending up in the hospital, dehydrated 90 pounds, then they decided, I think that's not working. Let's go ahead and give you Zofran. Zofran, champ, man, it worked just perfectly. So just know, sometimes when the insurance says no, don't wait until you're in the hospital, 90 pounds like I did. I didn't even think I look back and think I was so weak and wimpy back then. Where was I? What happened to me? You know, I was just like, in a daze, I guess. But yes, don't say, say, no. I can't take this. I want this. Go back to the insurance and you get this figured out because this is what I want. And they will do it. And I know it sounds like you're being a you-know-what, but sometimes you just have to.
We did that.
Yeah?
Yep.
And
well, the problem was that they were denying everything. They denied my knee surgery. They weren't denying the mammograms, but they, first denied the biopsy. And then when I had a MRI with contrast, they denied that. And my husband went into his office and talked to the insurance people there.
Good.
And lit a fire under them. And 2 days later, we got a call from Cigna, and we now have an advocate. So, because Buddy said, I will make it absolutely painful for you. I will be in your office every day.
Good job, Buddy.
He's great.
It's interesting how our husbands really start to step up. My husband's personality was not to go against the grain. I mean, he's a cop, Navy SEALs before then, so it was always, yes, sir, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, follow the instructions, trust the system, blah, 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 blah. And he has just gotten to be such a huge advocate for me. When I don't see things happening right, he's like, we're not doing this. And give me the number, I'm gonna call, and it's really interesting to see our husbands come out of their personality, their normal personality, and kind of step it up in some ways. At least that's what I've experienced. But this is another tip. Give your husband the opportunity to go up to bat for you.
Yep.
Definitely. Just, if it's something you cannot handle, you give it to them, because guess what? They're in it too, and they are in it with you. This is their journey as much as it is yours. So, all right. So to close things up,
I'm not done with the side effects.
No, more side effects. Okay, you've got 4 minutes.
Okay, 4 minutes. All right, so constipation, diarrhea, and then that bone tiredness where you can't even hardly get up and move. I mean, a tip for that would be just pull out some good movies and prepare to watch them, because you really can't. You can't fight that.
Are you still watching Charmed?
You know what? We catch it every once in a while. I catch it. I love it. My husband will watch it now sometimes.
Yeah,
watch it with
I know.
him.
Ray will come in and be, "What are you wrecking this show for? It's evil," and I'm like, I don't know. It's like mind numbing. I just watch it. I don't know. I know it's not good for you. Blah 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 blah. But yeah, every so often I'll watch it. It's just one of our things. But back in the day, that was our show.
Yep.
So anyway, tips, get some good movies, chill out, and
journal. Definitely journal. And then after I was done journaling, a few days before the next chemo treatment, I go in and I just take a bunch of notes from there, and that becomes my new page. And what I'm doing is I got those big yellow Post-it notes with the lines on it, and I'm journaling on that, everything. How did that work? Did it work better? Did it work worse? Do I need to go further? What do I need to do? Slap it on that page. And then, next time I'll look at all that. And I do it again.
Yeah.
But journal it, because that will help you know what's coming. And that, I think, is my most important tip.
And knowing what's coming keeps the fear away. Because I remember thinking, oh my gosh, it's like they show on TV where you're hanging over the toilet and you're puking and everybody's like, oh, this. And there are those days. There have been, I'm not going to lie. But I would say the majority of that time was this much compared to this much. Yeah. And people don't tell you that.
Yeah.
So, Now, one last minute, because we have 1 minute. We got to leave. We're going to breakfast at a very nice place. Do you like your doctor, and do you feel confident in what he's directing me to?
She. Both of them.
She. Oh, see, I have a she
two
too.
female doctors. From the get-go, my doctor, and I will tell you, my doctor is out of Hoag in Irvine. Mm-hmm. Then she is my surgical oncologist, and she's fantastic, and I asked her questions. Can I do this? Can I do that? When I was trying to decide between lumpectomy and mastectomy, she's the one who said, I can get this. Mm-hmm. Once we do the chemo and it shrinks, and I can get this. I can get all of it.
Yeah, and one important thing to notice, I had a lumpectomy a lumpectomy back in the beginning too, and everyone says, oh, if you'd had a mastectomy, you wouldn't have been in this place. And it's like, no, that's not true, because studies now, back then, the studies were a little but my doctor said in his experience back then, my older Dr. Carpenter said that he did not see any difference. There was no difference in reoccurrence between a lumpectomy and a mastectomy, except for more invasive. And the more invasive anything is on your body, your whole system goes into Wonkyville.
Right.
And it's not good for it. I mean, people say, oh, it's just a boob, get rid of it. But no. It is a body part, people.
Yeah.
And when you take anything out or off your body, your system is like, whoa, what did you do to me? You know, so it is never good to be over aggressive, because people think, oh, kill, do. That's not always the answer. And it is makes me so sad when I hear people say, I just went ahead and cut them both off. And I'm just like, oh, what'd you do? You know, it's like, okay, that's their choice and that's fine. But really, it doesn't, I mean, if you take cancer out of one body part, you know what? If your cells, your immune system is in a bad spot that allowed the cancer in the first place, it'll just show up somewhere else, people. So cut, do is not always the answer. But you do like your doctors.
Yep.
So that's awesome.
My
Listen.
second doctor is out of UCLA Medical and Oncology, and that's in Laguna Hills. And
UCLA is a good
she's
place.
fantastic. I mean, I can text her messages, and she message her, and she'll message me back within the hour. Anything I have trouble with.
That's awesome.
She sent me a prescription for the constipation I was having yesterday, and you know, I'm able. I mean, she's just. I can't say good enough things about these two doctors.
Good. See, it happens, you guys. So there are good doctors out there, and you know, I found the one I have right now, a female. Love her. She has supported my journey with holistic, because she goes to all of these different workshops and learning, and she gets the American Cancer Journal from Australia, from UK, from France, and she tries to stay ahead of things that her colleagues are always like, huh, what are you doing? You know, we don't do that. It's like, well, but we could, you know. She's very innovative and stuff, and so she has just been amazing. So there are good doctors out there, and there's some bad ones, but you just have to know when there's a bad one that you can change doctors, and it may take a while and it's hard, but you can do it. And it doesn't change your cancer. A lot of people think change your doctor, change your cancer.
I don't see how that would.
It doesn't work. Yeah, people think, oh, the doctor must be wrong, or the doctor made me sicker than I needed to be, blah, blah, blah. You know, sometimes people just need to know that protocol is pretty much the same for any oncologist.
Yeah.
So, you know, so there is that. So, okay, we're going to tie it up today because we have a reservation in 15 minutes. So, you guys, this is it for this week. I apologize I didn't do a vlog for this week, but I have been in bed a couple days a week with bone pain. It just would not, could not, didn't want to leave me.
Ugh.
And I've been doing my juicing, I've been doing my eating, I've been doing great. And I do have to report that my tumor markers came back and they're down 3 points. So that was excellent news. Yes, that. And the doctor, my doctor's like, well, keep it up, keep it up. She says, and then she told me, oh, by the way, have you heard of wheatgrass? And I was like, oh, I grow wheatgrass. Are you kidding me? And she goes, okay, I just wanted to make sure, because she says that is better than anything for your bone pain. And she's all excited because she just now discovered this article and this thing about wheatgrass. So she's like all excited to tell me, and I'm like, yeah, I already knew.
I need a smoothie recipe then before the next time I have chemo.
So she's like super, super cool, but she gets more excited, I think, when she sees my numbers go down, when she knows I'm not doing any traditional, cures, because it gives her something in her toolbox that she could use with her patients.
I'm going to combine holistic with what, traditional medicine. As soon as I'm done with all this stuff, I want to do the holistic route.
I wish I'd known, like in the beginning. That's why my goal is to tell everybody, give everybody the information, because I didn't know that. I waited years before I figured it out. and my body pretty much just got torn apart with it. So yeah, it's good if you can, and that's another thing. A lot of people say you could do one or the other, you can't do both. Not true, not true, not true. You can always make your immune system stronger. There is always that, period. So anyway, all right, well, thank you, Holly. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Yes, and we are going to follow up with Holly. We're going to keep her on our back burner, and we're going to maybe do another interview when she gets done with treatments.
Okay, doke.
And then she can do a reflection video and kind of give you more tips out of her little journal. So
I'll show it to you.
yes,
'Cause
yes.
I didn't bring it today.
Darn it. But next time, next time. All right, you guys, this is Jody, wishing you guys all a great week. I will see you again in a couple days with the vlog. And Bentley, he always has to chime in at the very last minute, doesn't he? All right, this is, if you haven't subscribed, you guys know what to do. Hit the bell, do all that kind of stuff. I get so tired of telling you and saying it. Just, you guys know what to do. You've been on YouTube before, right? Right. All right. Catch you in the next one.
If I love